box.
Yeah.
And then I wrote that. Necklace.
Yeah, there was a half of a two-piece locket.
One half necklace. All right.
Yeah, half of a two-piece locket necklace made of tarnished silver. Like there's another one somewhere that would complete it. In the carriage, there was a note that said that it was customary for a lord to provide safe escort and a gift to guests in his home. Please accept both. You took the chest. You solved the puzzle with the poem. It basically is treated like a bag of holding upon completing the puzzle correctly. Also inside of it was okay. There was a set of fine black velvet gloves with silver trim and fine black velvet cloaks lined with wolf fur, a set for each of you. You're in the carriage. You're on your way to the castle.
My inventory. There was a silk cloak, lined in fur.
Velvet gloves and cloaks. You have one for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Velvet glove and cloak. What color?
Black.
Good choice, Kevin.
Great. So it takes about a 40-minute carriage ride. It's about a 2.5 mile long path that weaves its way towards the castle. After winding through the forest and craggy mountain peaks, the road takes a sudden turn to the east, and the startling, awesome presence of Castle Ravenloft towers before you. The carriage comes to a dead stop between twin turrets of stone. They are broken from years of exposure, and beyond these guard towers is the precipice of a 50-foot wide, fog-filled chasm that disappears into unknown depths. There is an imposing drawbridge of old, shored-up wooden beams that looms high above the chasm, suspended by chains of thick, rust-eaten iron that creaks and strains under the weight. From atop the high walls, stone gargoyles stare at you out of their hollow eye sockets and grin hideously. A deep, resonant grinding echoes through the air as unseen mechanisms suddenly groan to life. The chains above shudder and shriek as the drawbridge descends with a deliberate and inexorable pace. With a heavy final thud, it comes to rest across the chasm. The carriage resumes its path towards the castle. It lurches forward, catching you off guard a little bit, its wheels creaking as it rolls onto the drawbridge, and the wooden planks groan beneath its weight, each hoofbeat striking a somber drumbeat against the ancient structure. You catch a final glimpse of the gargoyles atop the walls, their stony grins resembling leers amidst the shadows of the keep. A rotting wooden portcullis, green with growth, hangs above the entry tunnel. As the horse's path beneath it, the carriage lanterns cast flickering shadows against the dark stone walls, forming strange twisted shapes that cling to the mortared brickwork. The carriage emerges from the tunnel into a courtyard where it shudders to a halt. The carriage door clicks and slowly opens. Thick, cold fog swirls in this courtyard as you go to step out. There's sporadic flashes of lightning that lance the weeping clouds overhead as thunder shakes the ground. Through the drizzle, as it's, of course raining, you see torch flames fluttering on each side of the keep's tall main doors. High above the entrance is a round window with shards of broken glass lodged into its iron frame. The castle doors stand open, warm light spilling out of the entrance and flooding the courtyard. There are two figures that stand between the doors. One, a tall man with pointed ears and a dusky complexion. He's wearing rich blue tunic set with intricate spiral patterns and trimmed with golden thread. His lip is curled in a thin, perpetual frown, and he holds both hands primly clasped behind his back. His companion is a woman who's wearing a striking red dress with a layered ruffled frill. A black and crimson silk headscarf wraps around her head. Its lush fabric sewn with precious jewels, and a black opal pendant glints from a silver necklace dangling loosely from her neck. Her red eyes glint in the flickering light, and you catch a glimpse of a gleaming white fang behind her curved upper lip. You recognize the man. You've seen him before as Rahadin, Strahd's chamberlain. He was the one who presented you the letter. You also met him back in the village of Barovia during the funeral, where he approached and introduced himself. You remember when he would get near you, you could hear almost like screams of people, this chorus of screams that went on around him. The woman steps forward and greets you. My name is Anastasia. You must be Hattie, Dunkel, Sal, Val, Gavin. Welcome to Castle Ravenloft.
Okay.
Thanks.
I am just delighted to finally have an opportunity to meet you in person. I've heard so much about you.
Hopefully
what?
only good things.
Please, come. The master, he is occupied with other business. She beckons you.
Guess we go. I go.
Follow.
You step out. Did any Rahadin looks at you all. Make a perception check.
That one.
18.
16.
Everyone other than Dunkel, you see a look of. He curls his lips, and you see this look of evident disbelief, almost disgust, on his face as he looks you all up and down. Dunkel, it looks like he's smiling at you.
I just awkward, smile back.
He's.
Why are you looking at us like that? It's a little off-putting.
You are about to dine with the Lord of Castle Ravenloft. A certain, and he looks you up and down again, decorum is expected for those who wish to show respect.
What kind of...
Oh, he wants us to put on the cloak. And I toss it on and get the gloves ready.
He looks at you, Sal.
I
Oh.
do not put the cloak on.
I will not be doing that. He knows who we are.
Does Dunkel?
1 second, sir. I was looking to see what I had free.
Mm.
No.
He looks at you, Sal, and Gavin says, adequate, and turns on a heel and marches towards the castle.
Sal silently mocks him behind his back.
Yeah. And then I look at the party
Henestras,
and I say, come! And then I flip my cape. I follow him.
You guys look ridiculous.
back,
Sal
I'm like,
flips
"We know."
his cape in response.
Anastasia. Oh, heavens! You're just filthy, aren't you?
Oh.
You can tell like she's not used to filth, dirt. Lives a very prim and proper life here at Castle Ravenloft. Please, come out of the rain. And she ushers you in to the entryway of the castle. The ornate outer doors of the castle hang open as you approach, flanked by fluttering torches and iron sconces. 20 feet inside the castle is a second set of doors. The second set of doors swings open and reveals a grand hall filled with the sound of organ music. Rahadin, you notice he turns and nods. I don't know if you can hear that through Discord because knocking doesn't work, but he clicks his tongue towards the carriage, and the horses then trot away, leading the carriage through the center court gate and into another courtyard, out of view. As you are inside, you hear a low rumbling that cuts through the rain. In the distance, as you turn over your shoulder, you see the massive chains of the drawbridge tense, their links clanking against one another as the mechanism awakens once more. Slowly, like a stirring giant, the drawbridge rises into the night, leaving a fog-choked chasm behind. And with a shuddering thud, it settles into place, the torchlight flickering across its wooden beams and rusted iron bolts once more. In the foyer, let's see. Overhead, in the vaulted entry, there are, let's see, 2 statues of dragons that glare down, their eyes flickering in the torchlight. And as Rahadin leads you through, let's see. Yeah, okay. One moment. Here we go. Okay. 20 feet inside the castle, there's another set of doors, like I already said. There are 2 figures by those doors. To the left stands a handsome young man with long blonde hair, his soft features sharpened by a frozen smile. Got a picture. Stand by. And to
Did we see this guy
What's that?
before?
He looks like Sir Loras. We're rewatching Game of Thrones.
Oh, He does kind of look like the Knight of Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. How are you liking it, by the way, Randy?
Randy's in it.
Yeah.
Randy's in
Dude.
Game of.
I'm so happy. It
Yeah.
just took 4 tries, right?
Right. Now it's a great show.
Mhm.
It just took like the pre. He had to watch the prequel first.
You just have to get
Amazing.
through a little bit, and then once it's got its like claws hooked into you, it's
Yeah.
game over.
Also, another side, real quick. Alex and Ikenna, I finished book 2 of Throne of Glass.
What'd you think?
Amazing.
Yep.
And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do Assassin's Blade now before starting the 3rd book.
That's
the Era of
recommended
something.
way, right?
What?
Is that the recommended way? To do Assassin's
Yeah.
Blade
Is that the
before-
recommended way?
Yep.
I think I googled it and saw that Sarah J. Maas recommended doing it that way. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hold up.
Yep.
If y'all are talking about books, send me whatever you're talking about. I have way too many things, like credits on Audible. So if there's an audio
dude.
book, I would love to jump into the
Audible's
action.
the way to do it.
Throne of Glass is really good.
Yeah.
Throne of Glass, so good.
All right,
My favorite series I've ever read.
Are you listening?
I'm enjoying it more than ACOTAR. I thought
Yeah, you're on
ACOTAR was
mute.
very average.
Oops.
ACOTAR was pretty average, especially compared to Throne of Glass. I still really liked it, but it was, yeah.
Yeah.
If
Throne
I
of Glass is awesome.
I finished the 3 books. If I had to hear the phrase "her bowels became watery" one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Mhm.
Bowels became
Sarah,
watery.
that's her favorite. That's her favorite description of someone being like
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's true.
Her bowels became watery. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Please
Stop a
stop.
bit.
Yeah.
But
Like-
yeah, no. I'm actually in the middle of reading Assassin's Blade or listening to it.
Yeah, I'm
About
listening
halfway
like
through.
the pirate one right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The Assassin of the Pirate King or something.
Yeah, I'm like 3 or 4 of those short stories in.
The little novellas.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm pretty hooked, man. And I heard like the 3rd book, like after Assassin's Blade, gets wild.
Dude,
Which I'm sure you've already read it.
Yeah,
Yep.
everything changes.
Yeah,
So good.
like there was a twist in 2, and I was like, oh my god, that's a huge twist. And then there was another twist at the very end of 2, and I'm like,
Oh
ah.
yeah. Oh yeah. It just
It was
keeps
very
going.
cool.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it. 'Cause I was
Yeah, I
skeptical
like it a
when I
lot.
first started it, and I was like, whoa. By the end of it, I was like, I want
Well, I
to
did
this world.
ACOTAR, followed by the 2 Fourth Wing books, and I was like, I can't do.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but like this is a lot of smut, man. Like,
Yeah.
and thank God, like Throne of Glass is not that. So
I
Yeah.
never even finished the second Fourth Wing book. I'm on
I thought it was really good.
chapters.
I actually like that story. I like the story a lot on that.
Yeah.
And then the
for
next
sure.
book's coming out at the beginning of next year, so in January.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
she's
I
just
didn't know that.
she's cranking them out.
Yeah,
she,
did it in
uh,
1 year.
She came to the Columbus Library like a few months ago to do
Oh.
like a speech, and Tasha went. Like, you had to get tickets like immediately to go. It was free, but like still a limited amount. But there was like a bug, an Eventbrite, and they accidentally sold too many tickets. So they didn't have enough room at the
That's
Columbus
crazy.
Library for her, so they had to move it to like some separate auditorium.
They
and
put
she,
her in the
like-
shot scene center.
I wasn't a shot, but like she had to stay around and like sign everybody's things.
That's
They ended up having to pivot and saying like she wasn't going to sign anything, but you could buy like pre-signed
Okay.
things from her, I guess. So
Jesus.
I don't know. It was wild. Anyways, yes, you see the Knight of Flowers. Not actually, but to the right is a pale-skinned woman in an old wedding gown that stands stiffly. Her hair as black as a raven's feathers cascades over her shoulders, and her lips are pulled daintily back to reveal 2 fine point fangs. As you approach, both bow deeply to Rahadin, the man with a cat's mocking grace, the woman with a jerking, guarded motion, and step aside to pull open the doors for your passage. I believe you've seen the blonde, but let me double check. Yes. Make a history check, everyone, to see if you recall where you saw him before.
Ooh.
16.
I got a 1.
I don't know shit.
11.
Randy? Yeah.
14.
Okay. Who got the 16?
I did.
Sal. You recall way back towards the beginning as you were first exiting the village of Barovia, heading into the valley where you not first, but you met Strahd along on the road on the River Iveless crossroads. It was after you found Van Richten's cache. It might have been Pod Racer scene, where the carriage came, and there was a driver on the carriage who had pointed fangs, and he was Strahd's driver, named Escher. He's the coachman, his coachman and cupbearer. So very clearly, some sort of servant / worshiper of Strahd. He's one of Strahd's vampiric consorts. So that is where you noticed him from before.
I think that's right.
And then, yeah, just another woman vampire. There seem to be a lot of... Strahd has many brides. And they're all... Oh, this is a dope picture. Hold on one second.
Just puts a picture of weed in the Discord.
This is a picture of dope.
It's just...
Ooh.
Whoa.
Isn't she cool? I think she
Love
looks
that.
cool.
Oh my god. Oh, epic.
Cosplay?
I would.
That'd be a cool cosplay.
Missy, you can pull this off.
I got 2 cosplays I'm working on for this winter, but then maybe after that we'll work on it.
What cosplays are you working on?
Well, the castle, and then Galaxy.
Oh, nice.
So so she, as you guys are kind of like approaching and walking through, you notice her. You know what? Let's keep rolling dice. Let's do perception.
Yeah.
Slanging d20s.
Oh
Everyone?
my gosh.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm young. 16.
Are you
Never rolled
serious?
so high.
She can see?
Oh.
I got 18.
Okay.
I got a 10.
This
Okay.
is
Sal?
more thing I've ever rolled.
14.
Val and Hattie, you notice like a startling glance that she has as she notices Irina with you. Esmeralda stayed back. If you remember, she said she was going to maybe like kind of survey around the castle as you guys went in on this dinner, to see if she could maybe get some intel, maybe try to find any kind of secret passages or anything like that. The look on her face as she notices Irina looks as though she's seen a ghost. But she swiftly regains her composure. And it's just a quick little fleeting glance. You enter into the Great Entry. Let's see. Cobwebs stretch between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of a great dusty hall, dimly lit by sputtering torches in iron sconces. The torches cast odd shadows across the faces of 4 stone gargoyles squatting motionlessly on the rim of the domed ceiling. Cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered by decay. Um, double doors of bronze stand closest to the east. Stand closed to the east, and to the north of you, there's a wide staircase that climbs into darkness. And then to the south is a hallway that contains another set of bronze doors. Let's see. A dainty woman wearing a faded gold wedding gown and a platinum mask shaped like a skull sloshes a wine glass filled with a deep crimson liquid as she gestures wildly. Her companion, a tall, dark-skinned woman wearing a gold tiara and a simple white gown, instead disregards her, her cold gaze flickering towards you as her expression darkens. Her grip on her own wine glass tightens and the corners of her mouth pull ever slightly downward. The dark-skinned woman with the gold tiara is Ludmilla, who you just defeated at Yester Hill. The other one with the skull mask, if you remember, it was the vampire spawn from the coffin maker's shop that you guys defeated. So more of Strahd's brides just hanging around being mad at you for beating them.
Maybe beat.
Yeah, so you recognize the dainty woman as Valenta Popovsky, the tall woman's Ludmilla Vilasevich. They recognize you. Ludmilla is just, again, has this icy disdain amongst her. Valenta, you can kind of see a scowl beneath her mask as she's kind of putting back her wine. Let's see. The doors are closed behind you by Escher and his and the other bride. And they join you in the other consorts in the great entry. The woman from outside who greeted you, the very first one in the red, she speaks. She says, "Oh, welcome, guests. This is Valenta and Ludmilla. But," and she gives like an amused smile, she says, "I believe you may have already met. This is Escher." The blonde gives like a very portly bow. "And Sasha." That's Sasha's the one with like in the picture with the white. She gives a little nod. Let's see. Escher is our Lord's newest delight, and Sasha is our Lord's eldest bride, respectively. Dearest Sasha doesn't look her years, of course. She says, "Why, our Lord recently told me she still looks as radiant as the first day he laid eyes on her." Does anyone have a passive insight of 13 or higher?
Yes.
Yep.
Not a
No.
Sure.
Okay. If you do have a 13 or higher passive insight, when she says, "Why, our Lord recently told me she is still looks as radiant as the first day he laid eyes on her," you notice Sasha, the one in the white, visibly tremble at Anastasia, as at the woman's backhanded compliment. You notice that Sasha's fingers tighten into fists, and you kind of see like a trickle of blood fall onto the ground as her claws are kind of drawing blood from her own palms as she's clenching so hard. The woman in red says, "And I am Anastasia, also a consort of Strahd." Let's see. Oh, okay. As introductions kind of draw to a close, as she's done introducing everyone, Rahadin moves into another room to guard the entrance. As he does, a man emerges from the south tower stairs and joins you and the brides in the great entry. It's a thin-dressed man in fine servant's clothes, exits the torch-lit staircase, his face completely obscured by a pale white mask. In fact, there's another picture. Just floor dropping. Here we go. He holds a tray with several wine glasses and 2 pitchers of liquid upon it, one deep purple and one bright crimson. And he steps carefully across the stone floor towards you.
That's terrifying.
The man doesn't make a sound and moves first to offer you all wine from the purple pitcher.
I'm
good.
No, thank you.
Sal gently puts his hand over a glass.
Okay. Does anyone want wine?
No.
Sure.
Okay. He takes the purple liquid and pours it into a glass. Dunkel, since you're getting the glass, you notice that each of his fingertips have been severed to the first knuckle.
Oh.
And you notice that his hands are trembling. Dunkel, as he moves to hand you the glass, you peer past the mask into the man's eyes a little bit. Can you make an insight check for me as you make eye contact with him through the mask?
Nine.
Okay. As he's handing you the drink, Anastasia, the woman in the red gown, continues to speak. It's really delightful that you've come to dine with us today. I've had keen interest in getting to know such exotic outsiders better. Please tell me, what are some things you do? What are your interests, your hobbies, your experiences?
Have you ever hunted a grasshopper with your eyes closed?
Oh, well, I have not. Have you?
Almost every day of my life.
Oh, heavens, that sounds exhilarating. Well, what is that like?
Come here. I insist. I get down on all fours.
She approaches you and watches.
Well, come on now. Assume the position.
She gets down on all fours with you. She is genuinely intrigued.
Close your eyes.
Her eyes are shut. As this is going on, you notice the man in the white mask pouring glasses of wine from the red pitcher and offering it to Anastasia, who's on all fours now, as well as Escher. And you notice that Sasha refuses one of her own, shaking her head with a curt, thin frown. The man then approaches Valenta and Ludmilla, attempts to refill their well, actually, no. Continue with what you're doing, Dunkel.
I cast minor illusion of the sound of a grasshopper, like a locust, like fluttering its wings. So just like a really quick little like vibration. I do it like 1 meter in front of her.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Oh my, I did.
Now look.
She opens her eyes.
I like on all fours, like jump as far as I can, and like try to like close my hands as if I'm like catching something.
Okay. Oh. Did you get it?
Can I minor illusion a grasshopper?
It's somatic. You'd have to move your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, her eyes are open. She watches you do a silly little hand motion.
Yeah, so like I take it like in one hand,
Mhm.
and like with my other hand I like, and then I open it,
Okay.
and like there's a little grasshopper, and then I close my hand back around it.
She says, "Oh my!"
I say, "You're next. Close your eyes."
Sorry, I was rolling the investigation check on it. She closes her eyes eagerly.
I cast minor illusion of the sound of a locust about a meter in front of her.
Oh, Dunkel, I hear it.
Get it!
I hear it.
Up!
She opens her eyes and pounces forward.
Shut!
Huh?
I was just letting you see my form.
I'm confused. What just happened?
I bopped her on the head and I said, "My whole story was, have you ever caught a grasshopper with your eyes closed?" I
Oh,
simply showed you how you would jump to catch one.
oh,
If you would
but
jump.
Dunkel, your eyes were open. Were they?
Yes.
But your eyes were open, Dunkel.
Here
You
I
showed me
go.
how to catch a grasshopper with your eyes open.
Here I go. I like crouch down.
Okay.
Minor illusion. There's a grasshopper in my hand, I'd imagine.
Of course.
And I jump and like put my other hand over my hand. Where are you?
Right here.
I turn to where I hear the voice. I open my eyes and then I open my hands.
Oh! Oh! And starts like clapping.
I close my hand. Now your turn. And I like thrust my hands out.
She shuts her eyes.
I cast minor illusion.
She hears the sound of the grasshopper.
Get it!
Oh! Oh! Her eyes are shut, but she leaps almost at like a superhuman speed and distance with her vampiric abilities and kind of like crashes into the side of the wall as she slams her fingers up against the wall. Did I get it?
You almost had it.
She pounces again.
I don't know how much time you have.
She pounces again.
I cast minor illusion.
Will she ever catch the grasshopper?
Never.
Oh. Guess you're the expert, Dunkel.
How many times did she jump before that?
Probably like 2 times. Also, like, I would roll an investigation check each time to see if she would notice what you're doing. I think she'd eventually roll good enough. Maybe, yeah, maybe not. Really interesting, fun hobby. Anastasia is just like, oh, it sounds so exciting out there, so exotic. What does everyone else do?
Once we're just trying to get out of here.
If you think I'm good at jumping, you should see my friend Hattie jump.
Oh, Patty, are you quite the leaper?
Is there anywhere
jump
here
really
with
high.
a more ceiling?
I could go long or far or high.
Intriguing. Wow, you such exciting lives out there, jumping and catching grasshoppers, and you. And she points at you, Val. What do you do for fun outside the walls?
I don't really do much at this point. I'm just trying to figure out how to leave this place.
Oh.
I guess I practice my sorcery, and I live a pretty boring life.
No, that's not boring at all. Knowledge is power. Sorcery is quite impressive. What is your favorite spell to cast?
Magic missile.
Interesting. Taylor was going to be mad if you said anything else.
I figured.
She says, and you there with the bow.
I like to use my bow.
Just to not talk about
Sometimes as practice, we would shoot. So you could shoot down the most birds.
Oh, those poor birds.
Yeah. But it was meals for us.
She says, well, as long as they were ravens, I'm sure that's fine.
Like ravens.
Nasty little devils, aren't they?
You live in Castle Ravenloft, where you hate ravens?
Do you see ravens?
I guess not.
I've seen a lot of ravens around
We
here.
saw a lot on our way here.
Did
The
they used to
ravens.
walk here? Did they used to waft here?
No, not that I can remember.
Does Strahd like ravens?
Strahd does not like ravens. The ravens in these lands are not to be trusted, and they are a nuisance. You notice the man in white, as he was approaching Valenta and Ludmilla to attempt to refill their glasses, he stumbles, loses grip of the red pitcher, and a wave of crimson liquid soars through the air before splashing across Valenta's golden crown. Her golden gown. Everyone in the room, all the other vampires, abruptly fall silent as Valenta whirls towards him, her sodden dress hanging limply across her chest, her eyes burn with frenzied rage behind her mask, and her hand tightens around her wine glass so hard that it shatters. Valenta then whirls the jagged stem of her glass toward the masked man's throat and sweetly whispers, "Poor Anton has been a bad, clumsy boy. I can be clumsy too," as she adds quietly, brushing the jagged glass gently across the edge of his throat. "Just a little slip of the hand and... oops." She's got, does anyone intervene?
That's a little harsh, I would say. People make mistakes.
She looks at you, Val, at the corner of her eye. Let's see.
And I'd say you could ask any of your sisters about mistakes in terms of us beating them.
Oh, damn.
Well, I was going to say at advantage, but now not. She's mad at you. So do a persuasion check. Actually, you know what? No, do intimidation. And you can do... I'll let you choose. You can do persuasion, DC 15, or intimidation, DC 20, but you can do it at advantage.
Well, it doesn't matter because I already rolled and it was a 1.
Oh my gosh. Most not ones ever of anybody, Alex.
You should have just said I'm gonna do the one with advantage, so you could have rolled again.
I whisper to Hattie and I say, "Get ready to burn the place if this goes sideways."
Strike my lighter.
Valenta turns towards you, Val, and as she turns, she scrapes the... she presses and scrapes the glass into the man now revealed as Anton, into his throat, just enough so that a trickle of blood starts to pool and form. again, you hear nothing audible out of this man as this happens. And she's now pointing the glass towards you, Val. She says, "Give me one good reason why I don't kill you right now."
Do you have a reason to kill me? I'm unsure why you're so hostile.
"Why, you little..." And as she starts to speak, Rahadin swiftly moves to interpose, placing one hand on the jet black hilt of his saber while placing the other on Valenta's shoulder. And he looks at you, Val, and says, "You are guests within these walls, but do not forget where you are."
I'm sorry, I genuinely thought we were talking. Just trying to have conversation.
His eyes glint dangerously. "To violate the sanctity of guest right here is to invite severe consequences."
What do you think of our friends' cloaks?
"Adequate." And he turns on a heel and marches back to the doorway. Valenta's nostrils are flaring, her eyes glittering with rage. Her hand shifts, the broken glass blurring towards the man. And then as she's kind of turning back towards Anton, the broken glass is blurring towards his exposed neck. Suddenly, a man's stern voice, rich and resonant, cuts through the air. "You forget yourself. These are guests in our home." Valenta's hand freezes, a hair's breadth from slicing through his flesh. Even, measured footsteps echo from the grand stone staircase, and a tall, elegant figure descends into view. He wears a fitted vest of rich scarlet above a crisp white shirt, each ornate fastening meticulously buttoned. He moves with a cat's grace, his long velvet black cloak whispering through the air behind him. As he approaches, the flickering light of the torches dance across his pale skin, his crimson eyes glinting like rubies. "Good evening," Strahd von Zarovich says, his lips curling into a cordial smile. Each vampire spawn in the room immediately falls silent and turns to offer Strahd a deep curtsy or a bow. As she curtsies, Anastasia in the red dress bows her head and closes her eyes, murmuring, "Good evening, my lord." She adds, her eyes are flickering towards Valenta. "I hope the night's revelry did not disturb your work." As cordially dismaying as Anastasia's concerns, Strahd looks at you all and clasps his hands together and then opens them and... "Welcome to Castle Ravenloft. I apologize for Valenta's behavior. She can be quite excitable at times," he notes crisply. "One of her most attractive qualities, and perhaps her greatest flaw." He clicks his tongue as he briefly mourns the spilled wine that he notices on the ground. He turns towards Sasha, his oldest bride. "My dear Sasha, would you mind retrieving a mop from Cyrus and tend to this mess?" he asks, his eyes linger on Valenta. "2 mops, perhaps, if anyone would care to assist," as he's glaring at Valenta.
Sal's watching tennis right now. Just...
Tennis. Let's see here. Sasha descends the stairs to go retrieve mops. Strahd turns back towards you all. You found the journey comfortable, I hope?
Fine.
That's good.
Yeah, it was pleasant.
Could have been worse.
Ah,
Thank-
wonderful. I am pleased. Castle Ravenloft once entertained many guests. It is a pleasure to host them once again. Now, you are newcomers to my land, and without home or hall, I expect, and I trust nonetheless that the hospitality of my people has been to your liking.
Yes.
It is good that the simple honor of my hospitality is still remembered. Perhaps I may reward them for their kindness.
And they weren't very kind to Anton.
Well, I put them in their place. We must behave civilized in the presence of our guests.
Get my phone.
He says, let's see here. Now, please, tell me about your travels.
I literally just saw you, like, not that long ago.
Of course. I commend you. Very impressed you defeated the Forest Folk. They have none of their ancestors' grace and little of their wisdom. Their fanaticism, though flattering, occasionally leaves an unpleasant taste in one's own mouth. A lord who revels in worship is a fool, not a god. The mountain folk, peculiar, and quiet people. They were broken long ago, however. They do not intrude in my affairs, nor I into theirs. Now please tell me, are there any other interesting folk you have met along your travels?
Everybody seems pretty normal.
Well, normal is boring, but good, I suppose. Let's see. Where is she, Sasha? It's just a mop. I hate to ask this. Would one of you mind checking in on her?
Sure. Where do I go?
Down the staircase. She can't be far.
Okay. I'm gonna start to make the trek.
So you head down the staircase.
I'd like to keep my eyes open for anything suspicious or strange or particularly valuable. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to steal it, but I just want to keep.
Sure. Make a perception check.
It. 16.
Okay. You make your way down the stairs. You notice Sasha moving really, really slow at the bottom of the staircase. She turns back. You see her notice you, and turn as if she didn't, and continue to walk as if she wasn't walking slowly, at a more normal pace. Then turns back and looks surprised to see you.
Hey, are you okay?
She nods her head yes. Leads you through, let's see, So in the book, just a side note, Castle Ravenloft is a whole chapter. It is about 60 pages, I think,
Holy shit.
of just like every area in the castle. So if you see me flipping around, that's why.
Just frantically trying to sift through it all.
Yeah. Okay, Saoshi leads you through area into the servants' hall. Heavy beam. Okay, so yeah, you're in the servants' hall. Heavy beams support the sagging 10-foot high ceiling of this long hall, its mortared walls illuminated by flickering torchlight. At the left end of the hall stands a pair of wooden doors, their heavy planks banded with steel. At the right end stands a raised metal portcullis, beyond which lies a dark wine cellar. 3 doors stand along opposite walls, beside a dark ascending staircase, so going up. The middle door is open, warm light spilling forth onto the cold stone floor beside it. 2 covered silver platters, emanating delicious, mouth-watering scents, drift from the door across the hall as though held by an invisible force. The open door leads to the kitchen, filled with delicious smelling food intended for the dinner that you are about to have. Sasha enters through this door. A thick cloud of smoke fills the steaming hot room, salad tinged with sweet and savory scents. A whole roast pig slowly turns over a blazing fire pit in the center of the room, its pink flesh browning and curling as its juices pop and hiss amongst the flames below. The far wall is lined with pegs, hanging from which are numerous large cooking implements, some of which could easily double as implements of torture. A squat, bearded man busies himself about a pair of stoves not far away, 1 foot balanced precariously atop a grubby wooden stool as he leans forward to try to take a sip from a chipped wooden spoon. Sasha clears her throat. He stops and turns. She says, "We require a pair of mops, Master Bellevue," she says politely. "There's been a bit of a spill." You recognize the name Bellevue. The man turns and you recognize, not him specifically, but his kind. He's one of the mongrel folk. You saw a lot of them at the Abbey. They also had the last name Bellevue. He looks, again, yeah, just kind of like different animal parts kind of all construed into one. Let's see. He looks at you all and kind of like wipes his hands on the front of his apron. He just kind of says, I left the brooms in the wine cellar." Sasha nods and looks at you, Sal. Kind of like gives a beckoning nod as if, follow me.
Onward, I gesture.
She leads you to the wine cellar. Which is on another page. Okay. arched frames of stone form a low, wet ceiling over this wine cellar. Great casks line the walls, their bands rusting and their contents long since spilled onto the floor. A few hungry rats make their homes here, but upon your sudden arrival, they retreat to the shadows. In addition, a dead woman is strung up from a rope tied around her heels. Her face frozen in a ghoulish, terrified expression. Her throat has been slit, and drops of blood slowly drain from her slashed neck into a ceramic basin below. Sasha gives you a quiet, sideways glance as she moves to retrieve a pair of mops leaning against the wall nearby. You did not forget you were dining with monsters, did you? She asks humorously, her mouth twisted in distaste.
Sal smiles at her dark joke. Of course, I am quite aware with the establishment that we're within and the individuals that call this home, such as yourself.
She squints and leans into you and closer to you. Why did you follow me here?
Why did you lead me here?
To get mops.
You seem to be moving awfully slow, though.
She, Go ahead.
It seemed that perhaps others might have been questioning how long it would take to get the mops.
She crosses her arms. If you have some deeper motive, then speak it, she growls.
No. Quite honestly, I was asked to come find you and determine where you're at with getting the mops. But I chose to come here and follow you because, quite honestly, you seem to have something that is on your mind, and you've piqued my curiosity.
She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath. 1 second. Ooh, nat 20.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Okay, I have to ask you a question.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Same.
All right, march on. Do you have intent to harm Sasha in this moment or at all?
No, not specifically.
Okay. She rolled a nat 20 on an insight check. And because of this, because of the nat 20, because she trusts you, she's going to reveal some information. She's going to, okay. She takes a deep breath. She leans towards you, Sal, and whispers into your ear. I trust you. After dinner, find an excuse to linger in the dining hall. Once you are alone, press the 6th pedal from the left on the organ. I shall meet you in the chamber beyond. Do not allow him to know what you are doing. All right, thank you. We've got the brooms. Hands you one and immediately moves to return upstairs.
Can I do a quick insight check to determine if I trust her and what she's saying? This is
Absolutely.
A dirty 20.
You believe, your gut tells you that what she is telling you, she is fearful of anyone overhearing, and that she is risking a lot by telling you this.
Okay. Perfect. Sorry, I was trying to write down the
Okay.
little
Yeah. She said, press the six. She said, find an excuse to linger in the dining hall. Once you're alone, press the 6th pedal from the left on the organ, and she will meet you in the chamber beyond. And do not allow him to know what you are doing.
Perfect. Okay, cool. I follow after her with a mop. After, if she's still there after she says it, I'll like confirm her message like silently, and so that way she knows that I'm in cahoots before traveling with the mop.
She gives the faintest of nods, but continues to walk and, shall we? And continues to go up. You retrace your steps, Sal and Sasha, and are entering back up into the great entry as Strahd is still making small talk with you all, asking you about your journey. Do you have a memorable or a most memorable part of Barovia that stands out?
Not really. It's all the same.
All the same.
All bad people and a sad place.
Mountains, lakes, castles, towers,
Myths,
monsters, beasts. It's
endless
quite
tales.
exhilarating. Ah.
Right. Ray. Everything that you just said is great.
He looks a little annoyed that no one's kind of entertaining his attempt to talk up the land. Shall we? He notices Sasha and Sal rejoining. Rahadin then steps forward and motions for everyone to follow. Strahd walks a pace in front of him and leads you towards the dining hall. The brides and Escher turn to depart and do not join you. One moment here. Okay, so 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminate this magnificent chamber. At the center of the far west wall, between floor-to-ceiling mirrors, stands a massive organ. Pillars of stone stand against the dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling, and in the center of the room, a long, heavy table is covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with many delectable foods, roasted beef basted in a savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid with a delicate, tantalizing fragrance. Okay. As you enter, Strahd paces over towards the head of the table by the organ and extends his hands out. Please, be seated.
I sit on
I sit.
Go ahead.
Can I sit on the end?
Are you asking to sit where he's sitting?
I'm asking to sit at the head of the table.
He chuckles. Well, now, Dunkel, I am the host. This is my castle. I will sit at the head.
Have you ever been to the Great Dale?
I have not.
Hmm.
Um,
That's where the eldest son sits.
I am the eldest son of my father. I will take his
Really? What's
place.
his name?
A story for another time. He looks deeply annoyed. Please, dig in. And servants come and, spoon food onto your plates in front of you. Strahd takes a glass of blood red wine alongside a plate of roast pig and root vegetables. Everyone make an insight check. Everyone can.
21.
3.
15. Damn, Alex.
30, 20.
Everyone other than Val. No, Val's just like into the food. It smells really good. Everyone else notices Strahd never touches his food. He appears to be content to sip the liquid from his glass.
Are we
I
still
don't-
outside on Tailspire?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to figure out the map right now. I thought it's just way too much.
Okay. I'm sorry. Everyone notices what?
Everyone notices that Strahd never touches his food. He appears to be content sipping the blood red wine from his glass.
Is that the cup of wine that I still have?
No. Your glass of wine was a purple liquid from before, and unless you brought it with you, you would have left it back in that room.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
didn't drink. But I
Okay,
would've-
you left it. You would have what?
I would have brought it with me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
Then you have but yours is a different color. Yours is purple, like a purple wine, and his is a blood red liquid wine.
What is this? I show it to Strahd.
Oh, it is wine.
Why is there a different color?
Must be a different bottle.
Have you ever
He's
had this
clearly
one?
drinking blood.
He chuckles,
Are you drinking
smiles. He smiles faintly and chuckles. What do you believe to my drink to me?
blood? Sounds like blood. Is it blood?
He just chuckles.
Seem more viscous than the wine.
It does.
Okay, just making sure.
He takes a long drink from his glass. And he locks eyes with you. Says, all men according to their natures, or all men must act according to their natures. It is the nature of the strong to bend the world to their will, just as it is the nature of the wise to accept the world as it is. There are tyrants in this world who place children's heads upon pikes for the sins of their fathers, emperors who starve their subjects of bread and gold alike. He takes another long drink from his glass. I do not deny that I take what I require, and licks his lips. But all lords demand their due, and I take no more than necessary. So, Tell me, Hattie, where are you from? What land do you hail from?
Don't you already know, probably? You need to hear it from me?
I suppose I don't. Simply trying to be a good host.
I
So,
don't see the purpose in asking something you already know.
maybe we can just get to why you decided to invite us here.
Straight to the point. He says, can I not simply ask to dine, get to know my guests in my land?
What would you like to know about me?
Well, Dunkel, tell me, what is the history of your family and people?
Well, you see, I'm the eldest son. So typically, I sit at the head of the table when I tell this great message. The history of my people is that we come from the Great Dale. I'm the 72nd Uncle Havenstasher. I was sent on my way to acquire a bride so I could go back and rule the Great Dale. And instead, I got stuck in this terribly gray land. They have a beautiful history full of berries and joy and sun-soaked evenings over beautiful wheat fields, and it's
I do acknowledge its differences, but Dunkel, if a bride is what you seek, why not Barovia? A smile curls into the corner of his mouth. He says, I have plenty.
I've met several of them. They're some of the weakest women I've ever come to know.
He chuckles a little bit annoyed. Says, I do like to test them from now and then. They do get a bit complacent. Quite frankly, I thank you for keeping them in check.
You're welcome.
And he says,
How do you pay your thanks in Barovia?
oh, a simple thank you will do.
Good to know.
He looks at you, Gavin. He says, my, that bow. You must be quite skilled. Where did you learn to fight so valiantly?
I think it's that time of night. He just got up.
Gavin's chair is empty. He's definitely pooping.
It is definitely applesauce there.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like
Goes
he
right
always
through him.
says it when it's like his turn to talk.
He knows it's coming.
I feel like it's always like Taylor's addressing him, and then it's just like
It's never like there's never like a hey BRB, you know, like because I don't have Discord up. Like I have it up, but I have it minimized like while we're playing, and I pull it up every now and then.
I saw him in the
Where's
background.
he going? Where you going?
Is everybody else here a night pooper?
Nah.
I think
I've never woken up in the middle of the night to poop.
Your children are night poopers.
Not anymore though. Not anymore. Jackson's just like a continuous pooper, just all day he's pooping.
Just
little
every day.
he's just pooping out little rabbit turds every time he pees. All right, fuck me then. He looks at Val. Says, oh, I'm intrigued by the craft and research of your powers. Where did you learn to wield such magic?
I had pretty good professors at where I grew up. and
Oh.
they helped me. They helped me be the person that I am now.
Exhilarating. Fascinating. Wonderful. And Sal, tell me. Tell me of your family. Who is your father? What did he do?
He died.
As do all fathers, eventually.
Indeed.
Mine is past as well. What did your father do, Sal? Was he a great
Oh.
man?
He was. He was the leader of our village. He took care of his people without needing to take from them. He did his best to protect them. Unfortunately, that was not enough.
Terribly sorry to hear.
Such is the
And
life
Gavin?
in Barovia.
Indeed. And Gavin, we're on the topic of family. Tell me of your father and his conquests. What did he do?
No conquests.
Was he
You're
a
on
great
mute.
man?
No conquests. He was just a father.
Can't lie to Strahd, man. Now's the time.
There's no lies. Just a father. But
Like, what he loved
my
like,
family was merchants.
living.
My family were merchants. Nothing special. And I grew up in the city of Waterdeep.
Can you paint me a word picture?
Is that Hattie asking?
Yeah.
It's really out of character, but
Yeah, Hattie, you seem really complacent one moment and then really into it the next.
could there be an oi in there, maybe?
Hey. My father's name was King Barov von Tsarevich II, a great king and great general. It was at his side that I learned the arts of war and conquest, bringing order to a land wrought with chaos and confusion. In the wake of my father's death, I took command of my father's armies, leading them into battle to reclaim my family's ancestral lands, Old Zarovia. It was called then, he shares, a whisper of memories that our enemies had taken from us long ago. Barovia was the final small piece of the empire my father sought to claim, a valley guarding the mountain pass at the nation's eastern edge. When I first looked upon its snow-capped peaks, beheld its beauty, I knew I had come home to the rightful seat of my family's legacy. I'm curious. I love a good game. I seek to explore your wit, cunning. Come, join me in a game of 3 questions. As lord of this land, it intrigues me to learn how others might evaluate the dilemmas that power so often presents. I assure you, there are no incorrect answers. Instead, your answer would be merely revealing a part of yourselves to others here. Would you like to play?
More than anything.
Well,
What
then,
happens if we
Uncle,
don't?
you shall answer first. I ask this question to all of you. Imagine that you are the liege and master of a vassal lord. When you descend to collect this year's taxes from your vassal's village, your accountant reports that the year's taxes are woefully short. When asked to explain, The Lord explains that the harvests have been lean and sickness has plagued the village. You notice, however, that the Lord wears a fine gold chain around his neck and a new wool cloak, buttons of crafted pure silver. What do you do?
And you said you shall answer first. Were you talking to Gavin?
I was talking to, well, you said that you'd play first, so yeah, talking to Dunkel.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyone can answer.
I would expand my land. It sounds like I need to tax a greater area. We can't afford ourselves. Any more land would be richer.
Dunkel
Maybe we
2024.
relocate.
Interesting. Patty, what would you do?
I mean, do I trust that guy?
You tell me.
Probably not. Probably throw him up against the wall and tell him to be more honest.
So not trusting that the harvests have been lean and sickness plaguing the village. What gave it away? Was it the fine gold chain around his neck? And the beautiful cloak?
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't have that before.
Two very different answers, and revealing two very different things. Gavin, what would you do?
Are the taxes scaled? Do the rich pay more?
No. Is a
I would do
tax on
that.
the village.
I would make the rich pay more.
Interesting. Next question. Imagine that you are the monarch of a realm. One day, a fearsome archmage raises an army of undead in rebellion against you. As he approaches your keep, you have an opportunity to parley with him upon the drawbridge of your castle. What do you do?
What does parlay mean again?
Like meet, discuss.
Okay.
His voice came in so clear.
And then
Honestly, it really did.
Did I ask him? Oh, I shouldn't ask him on what he wanted? Oh, gotcha.
So is the question if we parlay or not?
Well, it's
Of course,
whatever
yes.
you
what would you
decide.
do?
A fearsome archmage raises an army of undead in rebellion against you. He approaches your keep. You have an opportunity to parley. Do you?
Do I know why he's
Oh,
doing
so
that?
many hypotheticals. He's rebelling against you. Does the reason matter?
It would to me. I think I would ask him for his reason, and if it wasn't good enough to me, I would take advantage of the situation and attack.
Very insightful. So you would parley to find his
Yeah.
reasoning. Interesting. Very interesting. Does anyone else have an answer?
I mean, if he's already trying to fight you, you might as well just use that as an opportunity to fight him. Catch him off guard.
Indeed. A trap, per se. Final question. Imagine that you are the monarch of a realm. as you sleep in your bed, an assassin slips into your chambers, but is frightened away by your guard's timely arrival before your throat can be slit. What do you do?
Calm him down.
I don't think there's much you can do if you don't know who the assassin was.
And you could track someone down pretty easily, Gab Dog.
I guess you're right.
Vengeance, revenge. Good answer.
If you want to get revenge, you could just track them down. Figure out what they're doing.
I have survived the daggers of many assassins throughout my life. As a soldier, as a king, and even since my rebirth into undeath. Although I am loath to sully a night of fellowship and merriment with matters of business, I must confess, I have suffered the attentions of one such assassin quite recently. A viper. He goes by the name Rudolph Van Richten. He carefully surveys your expressions with one eyebrow lifting. To my regret, however, my servants were unable to apprehend him. I believe him to still be at large. Have you heard any whispering of his presence in your travels through my domain?
Nope.
Who, I say?
Rudolph Van Richten.
No idea who that is.
I haven't heard of him.
Gavdog,
I actually don't.
make a deception check.
I don't think Gav's never met him.
I guess not. Sal and Val make deception checks.
$16.
18.
Oh, let's go. DC 20.
All right.
Oh, you do not know. Oh, pity. Gavin and Val, you notice a knowing glint in his eye as he replies to your answer. Well, Strahd stands up. That was delicious. He pushes away his untouched plate of food and his empty wine glass. Oh, I thank you for dining with me today. Please, I would love to offer a brief tour of the castle. I fear it has fallen from its former glory since I first began my slumber, but I hope that those with vision see it for the marvel it once was. Would you like to see?
Sure, I'll come take a look.
Yes.
Who left and came back? Oh. I thought I heard someone leave and come back. Maybe that was me. Okay, so Strahd, if anyone is joining him on this tour,
Yep.
he starts to... The dinner is... What's up?
Oh, I said yes.
The dinner is over, and he then starts to exit the dining hall.
Sal wasn't done with his food yet, and so he looks
up at Strahd and says, "Please, I haven't had a good meal in a while. Can I just finish this? Like, I'll catch up. It's okay. Just please."
Make a deception check.
And to be fair, let me toss
At
this out
advantage.
there.
I
I
know.
was gonna say it's only half a deception.
I know. It's a misdirection for sure. You can do it at advantage.
Okay, cool. 18.
He very well. He dryly says to you with an inquisitive look, try not to stray too far from the hall. Many things lurk in the dark corners of this keep. It would be a shame if we were to lose your company so soon. I shall send Escher to collect you when our tour has concluded. So, Sal, do you stick around?
Yeah, I'll hang back.
Please, if you struggle to see in the dark, I encourage you to take a torch from the sconce. My eyes are well adjusted to the shadows that lurk in these halls. But a mobile source of light might kinder to your own senses. And he offers torches to anyone who cares to grab one.
I will take one.
I also
Yeah, I'll
take
take
a
them.
torch.
Yes.
I'm fine, thanks. Actually, I venture to say I can probably see farther than you can. Maybe we can make a game of it.
He chuckles. How would we play that game, Temple?
Have you ever had a good berry?
I have not.
Perfect. Here, Hattie. I'll give you 10. I guess Goodberry. Then I hand Hattie 10 good berries. Hattie, go. I don't know. Let's say 40 feet. And set down as many good berries as you want.
Look, what?
Walk ahead.
Just walk ahead.
40 feet. Set down as many good berries as you want. And I look at
Strahd is
Strahd.
seething.
Okay.
If we say a different amount, whoever wins gets them. If we say the same amount, it continues on.
I don't understand what we're doing here.
You have to guess a number of 1 through 10 based off of how many berries she's putting down.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could see
okay.
the farthest.
At 40 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. How many berries does Hattie put down?
3.
Strahd says 3.
Trees. Where do I see my dark vision? Huh?
I don't think you have dark
You
vision.
don't even have dark vision.
I have dark vision. I see in darkness.
I thought Uncle did.
I was like,
I have it. I have it. I would imagine I would see it, right?
What's your dark vision distance out to?
60 feet.
Yeah, you can see it. It's just grayed out a little bit. It's a little dull.
3 berries. Keep going.
Okay.
How far out does Hattie go now?
Well, like 20 more feet.
At 60?
I'm sure I'll go 30 more feet.
At 70?
Yep.
Okay. Private message me the amount of berries you place down.
Damn.
Okay.
Done. Dunkel, we're gonna say a number at the count of 3 at the same time. Ready?
So I don't get to roll. It's just random.
You can't see. Yes, you're guessing. If Dunkel would guess, then ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, 0.
He knows.
I know the answer. I was just gonna see if you would guess the same answer. He says, "Well, Dunkel, I think I win."
How many berries are there? And I walk forward 11 feet so I can see.
You see 0.
Oh. But she didn't set any berries down. She was supposed to set berries. Patty, it's you don't know how the game works.
I don't know the rules.
This is really a lot. I don't understand why you're playing this game with him.
What are you gonna do with all these good berries? I look at Strahd.
Can't eat them.
Absolutely nothing.
You're gonna do nothing with them?
Leave them on the ground.
Dunkel, I drink
Come
blood.
back.
Can I have them?
Of course, they're yours. You produced them.
We're looking into patenting a wine.
Very intriguing. You'll give the Wizard of Wines a run for their money.
For the course of the next 10 turns, I eat 10 good berries.
You gain 10 health.
Did you have all cash before this?
What a time to be alive.
It's 10:36. Did you want to keep playing? I know you're not feeling well. Or we can just pause here and have this be a break, and then we'll start the tour next week.
I'm good to pause here.
Alrighty.
Completely reasonable.
I can't wait to see what games Dunkel thinks up next week. You should send that to D&D Beyond. They need to make that official. The Goodberry game.
A good bearing.
A little like character spike, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, the Goodberry game became so popular that they actually had to create plastic Goodberry sets so people that can't produce Goodberries could also play.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
Remember the game Hi-Ho Cherry-O?
Yes, loved
No.
that game.
This is very,
we
very
have that for
similar.
our kids.
Yeah.
Cherry is garbage because you lose all the cherries and
That
it's
sounds
fucking annoying. We got this
Uh,
same thing, but it's like a squirrel and it's acorns and like the pieces are bigger and like the things that you put them in are like sturdier. It's like a way better game and it was like way cheaper than I Know Cheerio.
No Cheerio is like $3.